So, hi, John. Good morning again. Good to see you back.
Thanks again for having me.
Yeah. How are things going on? Everything is good?
Good. Yeah, no, I'm doing great. And you?
Everything is good. Thank you. So, for the audience, we originally planned to show and discuss all of this yesterday, but as everybody knows that we had a technical issue, which we mentioned on our LinkedIn channel also, and which is in a way that worked in our favor because we are showing you today is not just one control example, but multiple real journeys that capture across different environments. So maybe John, for the audience, you can start with talking about yourself, and then I will follow up about a quick brief about me, and then we can start about the session.
No, absolutely. So my name is John Toskey. I'm currently president of John Toskey Consulting, but I spent the last 25 years or so in the digital marketing space, a lot of that in affiliate. And about 12 years ago, I met Gaurav while I was at eBay, managing the eBay partner network, and started learning a lot about what I didn't know, and went on a journey with Virus Positive for the subsequent several years, uh, helping to define and build new tools that we needed to try to keep up with fraud. And so when Gaurav asked me to join here, I was very happy to do so. So thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much, John. Really appreciate that. Uh, we are connected for last 12 years, and I hope I cross my finger to keep this journey going on. So for the audience, my name is Gaurav. I'm the CEO of Virus Positive Technologies, and our mission is very simple from day one. We protect the integrity of the customer journey. And today, everybody is talking about attribution. And when we talk about attribution, everybody starts with the finish line. They want to see what has happened in the last. But today, I really want to take you back to the starting blocks of how exactly it has started. So let me start with something very simple. When you look at your conversions in your dashboard, I'll say reporting dashboard, how confident one person is that you understand how it happened, not where it actually came from, not from which partner got credited, but what led to it. There is a quote which is very famous and which is like always in my mind that not everything that can be counted counts, and not everything that counts can be counted. And in our real world, when you are at home, you are counting the currency. Or when you're with your kids, you are counting on the numbers. So we always become so good at counting. Uh, if I talk about the overall industry, today the global ad fraud is estimated to be around 120 to 130 billion annually. This is not I'm saying, this is what the market study says, which is very interesting. And the good part, whether it's a valid traffic or it's an invalid traffic, it always looked like a valid conversion, but that would never truly influence through internal attribution studies. So if I talk about the overall uh, studies from the industry, it is suggested that 30 to 40% of the affiliate attribute conversion, especially from coupons and extension. And I think recently somebody talked about uh, the journey about extension, how it happens. And we have recently posted a video on our YouTube channel where we talk about the coupon journey and how the coupon, plays a good and a bad part in the journey. So for the audience, the big question is, are we tracking the conversion correctly? Or I would rather say that the real question is, are we rewarding the right behavior? What we really see is what available for the performance marketing with existing tool. So if I look at today's tool, there are tools which will tell you clicks, conversions, attribution, and performance. And we don't spend enough time asking what exactly are we counting, because data does not lie, but it also does not tell you the whole story. And today we are going to focus on that missing part. So John, I know you have been in the industry for quite a long time, and you have been managing in the past large affiliate programs. How much do you see the journey you see versus what you assume today?
Yeah, well, ultimately, you're relying on the capabilities of reporting you have, and especially when you're dealing with the affiliate platform reporting, or frankly, if it's in house, that's all the data you have, and it's incredibly difficult to scale and understand the customer journey just beyond that last click attribution. And at scale, you have to simplify complex decisions every day,
Yeah.
and you can only really use the data that you have. but you're aware that you're not getting a complete view, right? Like what you're really getting is the end of the journey.
Yeah, that's true. And that's the gap actually. We have been talking quite a long time, but that's the real gap between what we actually see and what has happened is what we're going to explore more in our discussion today. If I go back to the affiliate marketing model is very, very simple. Somebody will click, a conversion will follow, and the credit will be assigned to that. And based on that, everybody evaluates performance. But this model assumes something very important, that nothing interfere in between. Well, I said this, but first let me give you more context on this assumption. We assume the click caused the conversion. We assume the partner actually influenced the decision. We assume the journey was absolutely clean. But in reality, when we never validate any of this and we don't have visibility with the limited set of data we have, what if I show you two different conversions? One where the partner get influence the user decision, and the second one where the partner appeared couple of seconds before the checkout. And in that current reporting, they look exactly same. I mean, with the naked eyes, it's tough to identify what has exactly happened. Again, John, if with your experience over the years, how often does that assumption actually hold true?
Well, I'll give credit to the affiliate networks, right? Like they've added a lot of reporting capabilities in the last few years that can show multiple touch points from various affiliates. In some cases, they can bring in other touch points from internal marketing channels. But what it still misses is all the actions between the clicks to the site, right?
Yeah.
And so even when you just see a single touch point in that journey, you don't really see the complete picture still. You're not aware of how that user arrived at and passed through that affiliate site.
Yeah. And imagine now all the affiliate managers, performance marketers, they are building the entire strategies based on this assumption. Without understanding how it is happening, where it is going, they're just building up their matrices and they're going step on step and just looking at the performance at one side. Uh, Yesterday, again for the audience, we shared one such journey on our YouTube channel, which was involving the Karma extension. I know everybody was talking about honey, but you know, we wanted to give the perspective that it is not just honey. There are different extensions who are doing the same stuff in the market. So you should go to our YouTube channel and look at that Karma extension video. And today we are going to make one step further. We are showcasing another extension, AliExpress search by image. It's not a standalone case, but as part of the pattern, let's make this very simple. Imagine uh, a user is searching for your brand. Imagine, let's say, uh, user is going to a brand randomly where he wants to land on. They will land on your website. They will browse. They will look for different things on the website, and they move to the checkout. At this point, there was no discovery problem. There was no influence who was there. The decision was already made, but just before the conversion happened, something really changes. If I slow down this, uh, what happens under the hood there? A background script detects the domain where the user was going. It then triggers an invisible request, which is again not possible to see from the naked eye. A redirect chain fires through couple of intermediary domains. A affiliate network call is made and the cookie is dropped. All of this, I've said 5 steps. All of this happens in just few milliseconds, and what happened, the user does not see it. Even the analytics tool which you have embedded uh, uh, will not give you any flag, but the attribution updates. And that's where many were example recorded in our current lab. We have seen cases where user has typed the brand URL directly. There was no external click existed, yet an affiliate ID appears at the checkout. That's not influence. That actually interception. And often this isn't a single hop. It's with what we call traffic laundering. Everybody talks about it. I think, I've tried to explain more about traffic laundering. The click passes through multiple domains, each actually attributing until it reaches the final destination. So, John, if you remember my first question where I asked about, how it looks at the reporting side, again, from the reporting perspective, what do you think? Will it appear abnormal or it will be a normal behavior?
No, I mean, it all happens client side, right? And so ultimately, you have no visibility into what happened before that last click. There's no way for a brand or frankly, a network to see it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what makes this so difficult to identify because there was nothing that is broken. The system was exactly working as designed. We have a user, we have a purchase, our attribution was there. The only thing that changed is what gets credited. The user did not change the behavior, the journey did not change, only the attribution did. And John, why do you think this problem, can grow at scale? I said, why do you think, this problem is growing at scale now?
Oh, well, I think there's a couple of reasons. I think one, there's a rise of sub-affiliate networks. I think it's stronger than it's ever been. And
Yeah.
the sub-affiliate networks aren't inherently bad, but it's just one more layer of disintermediation between the brand and its partners. And frankly, the sub-affiliate networks don't have any better visibility than anybody else does. I think that's part of it. I think there's a part of it where there's just a demand for affiliate programs and affiliate managers to continue to grow their programs. And frankly, in a slowing economy, that's difficult and nobody wants to miss their goals. And so it's very easy to just not ask questions. And if you can't see it and you don't ask the questions, there's plausible deniability that everything's okay.
Yeah.
And ultimately, actually having that discussion and trying to address an issue like this in your program is scary. And I just think it's going a little bit unfettered.
Yeah. Again, what we discussed initially that performance marketers, they just go with the targets. It's more about, how they're looking at the matrices. But the real side of the story is totally different.
No, 100%. And again, there's a system that's in place, and regardless if you just use last click or multi-touch or brands are using MMM, ultimately in affiliate, those decisions are happening based on last click, and that's just the way the system's been. And these industries, these fraudsters have effectively built programs around last click, and as long as last click is king, there's always going to be this challenge.
Yeah. So I think we should talk more about the core of last click attribution. It does one thing very well. It tells you who was last, but it tells you nothing about what led to that interaction, whether it changed the outcome or whether it simply appeared at the end. Last click does not measure influence. It measures the timing. Maybe, we can think of this as last click answers who was last, but it ignores who introduced the user, who built the intent, and who mattered. So we end up optimizing for position, not impact. If a partner only shows up at checkout and still gets paid, what exactly are we paying? What exactly are you paying for? So, like I said in the starting, yesterday we shared one video. So today we have come up with another video. But as you watch this video, don't focus on the click. Focus on when it appeared, when it triggered, and whether the user intended it. So we'll quickly play a video, which we have made for this webinar, and then we'll continue the discussion.
What if the conversion was always yours, but attribution followed someone else? This is not an obscure tool. Over 50,000 users, strong ratings, a lightweight extension built for visual search, designed to help users search products by image. Now let's look at the journey. A user lands on a product page, just browsing. A click opens the product page in another tab. Nothing looks suspicious so far. The journey continues. But look closely. The original tab refreshes without any user action, and the journey changes. Behind the scenes, an affiliate tag is added to the session, and it doesn't stop there. The extension refreshes the active tab as well, running through the same redirect sequence and reinforcing the attribution. No new intent, no new decision, but attribution changes. Different extension, different purpose, same outcome. This isn't an isolated case. It's a pattern.
So what you just saw is not a one of the case. It's actually a repeatable behavior which we see in our labs every day with thousands of extensions doing this. So John, looking at this video, what stands out to you in this journey?
Um, one that, as an end user, and I've seen plenty of these as well, right? Like a couple things. One is that for the end user, it can be frustrating because sometimes these things don't just take milliseconds; they can take seconds. And sometimes you can see the extra tab opening, like it can be confusing, and they don't know why it's happening, or is it the website itself? So there's a end user trust issue. But two, you're basically giving credit to somebody who didn't do anything. And I think that the question is ultimately, you brought up an example of one extension doing this, but that's not the extension that's getting credit, right? Like there's a different affiliate getting credit for that who's effectively buying that traffic from that extension. And as a brand, you will never see that. All you're going to see is that last affiliate cookie.
Yeah. And exactly, I mean, that's the gap in the industry we have been talking about between what has happened and what actually gets recorded. So if I take you a step back, what we have looked today is not about the fake users. It's not about the systems are broken. It's about the real journey being silently, quietly altered at the very end. There are scenarios when something has changed on the landing pages, and in one of the examples which we just saw, it changed at the very end. And those two small changes decide who gets the credit and who gets paid, and how performance gets interpreted. And that's lead to a very fundamental realization. This isn't really an acquisition problem because user was already there. The intent was already existed. The decision was already made. There is a verification problem. It's about verifying who influenced the user, what changed the outcome, whether the journey we are reporting created any value to it, or if we just, translate this into an impact. You pay commission on your own traffic, you misallocate budget to the non-influential partner, and you optimize toward noise instead of value. Over time, if you're not able to stop this, over time, these things compound. And the cost is not just wasted spend, the cost is learning the wrong thing from your data. Uh, Looking at our discussion, John, from your perspective, how important does this distinction become at scale when we are, scaling our affiliate program? So how do you see that?
Yeah, I mean, it's critical because you can't research all of these incidents when you have a large program. And it's something that, through my consulting gigs right now, I'm working with some brands that are smaller. And you actually can go in and start looking at particular affiliates and trying to trace some of this stuff down. But, once you have any sort of meaningful size, you're just trying to make decisions based on the aggregate data. And if the underlying visibility is incomplete, then you're optimizing on the wrong data, and trusting that data is just critically important.
Sure. And before we end, I think, and that's really what it comes down to. Not just it's not about just measurement, looking at the matrices. It's not just attribution, but the trust. Because when you trust your data, you actually run. You run very confidently. You scale effectively. But when the trust is uncertain, every decision, from step 1 to step 2 to step 3, it becomes a guesswork. This isn't about acquisition. I think it's more about verification. And in a system built on performance, verification is what creates trust, and trust is what makes the performance real. What's your last take on this, John?
Yeah, I think it can be scary once you start realizing the breadth of the situation, and the inability to do anything about it on your own. And I think it's natural for brands to go to networks and ask networks what they can do.
Yeah.
I think I see networks trying to solve some of these things, whether it's through improved attribution views, trying to develop new tools, working with third parties like Virus Positive. But ultimately, this is a problem that's gotten bigger, and there's no sign of it going away.
Yeah. Thank you so much, John, for your time.
Thanks for having me, Gaurav.